Alright guys, this recording is coming to you from my Moto G phone. So let's talk a bit about how week 15 is going. We've got one more day. Today is day 6. I don't know yet if I recorded day 5. I'll be honest, I'm pretty out of it this week. I think I get in denial when I'm depressed. It's kind of like annoying though. But I think I'm just pretty frustrated with a lot of stuff. Not really anything that anyone can help, but one of my applications for a site that I wanted a job at was kind of moving along. I got offered the next round of interviews. I don't remember what round we're in now. I think it would have been 3. And I got offered the next round, so I was pretty excited. And then, I saw, it's going to require a driving test, a written driver's test. The typing test didn't really matter. I'm pretty confident about that, like a dictation typing test. And then, I'm basically going to need to, I don't know, like it would still require like 2 weeks of training, unpaid training, and they're hiring for the last Monday of April and the last Monday of May. And I also drew up some campaigns earlier this week. What day was that? It was Sunday, and then I was expecting to finish them on Sunday, but I finished them on Monday and posted, and it just didn't work out. I'll probably be about to post some more tonight, but it's just kind of been a bummer, and I'm just like, man. So I haven't really made anything this week. Nothing's really budged as far as like the plans, and then making moves on the job applications. That hasn't really improved. Not having a car is really a bummer. They still don't know what's wrong with it. So, last year in January, we had that crazy issue during the end of the fires, like right when it started raining towards the end of the LA fires, right when the rain came, it was like, right when the rain came, it started having some electrical issues, and ever since then, it's never really gone back to being good. It was already having issues, but I feel like since that point, I knew, I was like, this car is gonna need some major service. I don't know if it's on the original engine. I know that it got, transmission replacement or repair. I don't know which one, but I think it was replaced. But I don't think the engine's been rebuilt. The car doesn't even have 100,000 on it, but it's hit 90K, like in the 90K range. And it's been driving poorly for a long time. And I'm curious to know, I don't know if it would be a gasket leak. When I was driving in Eclipse before, it had those issues with the V6. But I don't really know what it would be with this car. Because even when I did have leaking, it wasn't that kind of leaking. Like, this is like visible. Like, wherever the car parks, it leaves like a noticeable amount of fluid, and especially after driving long distances. I know the steering fluid leaks for sure. The oil, I know it leaks because I see it in the driveway, but that's not like a very noticeable leak. And it's also not my car, so as much as I've been trying to get it fixed, the people who are kind of more up to date on what's up with it, they're not really in too much of a rush, and it's definitely affecting a lot of my plans. So, but also I don't know if there's any way for anybody to speed it up at this point. Like, I don't know if that's like any kind of an option, because I don't really know what's even wrong with it. So at the moment, I've had some caffeine late. I didn't really want to have caffeine at like 3 p.m. or something, 3:20 p.m., 3:15 p.m. Yesterday I had it late too though, and I was still asleep probably near like midnight or so, just before midnight. So I have been sleeping a little bit later, but I didn't stay up that late last night. Like, I had lights out, and then this morning I woke up early, and I was just in a terrible mood when I woke up this morning. I was just like hating on everything. I was like, I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody. And I was like, wow, I'm like fuming, and I like barely woke up. That's not good. That was not fun. I did not like that at all. Right now I'm posting some of the fitness episodes, the end of week 14. I'll see what I get posted up. I've at least loaded it onto my computer, and I started recording for you guys on this separate phone, so I wouldn't have to wait even longer. Because my phone just barely got through transferring the files over. So I'm just doing this while I'm kind of waiting for the caffeine to kick in a little bit better. I'm gonna work out and eat some Mexican food. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna eat. I want it to be high protein, but I don't want a whole lot of other stuff that I don't need to be eating right now. So I might make a protein shake and then have just, I don't know. If I do have rice, I'm worried about the rice and tortillas mostly. I did read an article, like it was a sponsored post on Facebook. I don't tend to read that kind of stuff, but this one, it kind of caught my attention. So I was on Facebook, because I took a pretty long lunch between like 1 p.m. and like about 3, then I started like texting a couple friends and stuff, so, and so, yeah, I saw an article on Facebook where somebody was writing about their stress levels. This lady who was saying between the ages of, I think it was 38 and 44, she used to be a size 6 and now she's a size 14. And doctors, once she turned, they were mostly telling her, oh, it's hormones. And then once she turned over 40, people were definitely like, oh, it's perimenopause, it's, hormones, it's slower metabolism because you're past 40. Which is interesting because that's the same exact thing I've gotten from doctors a little bit. Like, and so I was a little bit like, interesting. I want to see what they're coming to as a conclusion. And I guess she saw a different provider that was like, no, those are all similar signs that are shown of like stress. And when I look at my own maybe health trajectory or history, I do kind of notice that I get, that I've had times where it was like I've explained, like, I have pictures of myself from before, during, and after the pandemic. I used to have like a tiny little sliver of gray Um, you know, and now it's like a lot more gray. Uh, my weight was definitely less, and it was, I'd say, so I'd say lately, when I focus more on cardio, I have a better time losing weight. But when I do take breaks, like most of this week, if I'm being honest, week 15 has been a pretty major, I don't know. Yeah, it's been a slower week, but I did some kind of, I don't know what you'd call it, but I did maybe 16 minutes worth of other exercises in the morning yesterday, and then in the afternoon I did some kind of more, it's not chair yoga, bed yoga. It was like that, but it was like strength exercises. Like, I tried to do the ones that are kind of uncomfortable to do on the floor. I do have a yoga mat, but it's not really good enough for like doing things on my elbows or doing things like on my knees, like certain positions on my knees. And I don't really have anything that's like good enough padding. I mean, I can like bundle up a towel or use pillows sometimes, but sometimes it's just easier to use my bed, honestly. So I did a lot of kind of exercises. It was almost like airplane push-ups, planks, different kind of push-ups like on my knees, but it wasn't really like going all the way down and up. It was more like just push-ups, just kind of going, I don't know what you would call it, like with my shoulders on. It was almost like shoulder shrugs, but in like a push-up position. I did a lot of those, and some kind of exercises in that same push-up position to like work out my biceps, but I wasn't doing traditional push-ups like up-down push-ups. I was trying to work out my biceps, my triceps, and my shoulders, and it did work. Like, noticeably it worked, and I noticed like a muscle pump from it. And so I do notice when I don't, when I have days that I skip, I do feel like I'm able to get gains a little bit faster. So I am kind of trying to figure out that, kind of what that is, like why that happens, like what the magic number is, because I usually just kind of wait till I either have like a menstrual situation or I have like yeah, it's usually from like a menstrual situation or um, um, what would you call it? Like, or if I get like sick, like when I got that cold thing, that stress cold thing, that's the kind of thing that when I normally notice it. So, I don't really know, like, I'm kind of like, trying to figure out what in the heck is up with my mood this week, because it's just super weird. I don't know what it is, but I haven't woken up that irritable and in such bad spirits in a really long time as I did today, where I was like, I'm just gonna take something. I did have just like an edible first thing in the morning. This was like 5 o'clock in the morning, and then I did a bunch of job applications till just before 6 a.m. Then I went back to sleep till like 8, and then I heard someone up around maybe 8:15, just like bouncing around. I think we got some groceries delivered. So I woke up and did about 15 minutes worth of like kind of warm up jumping jacks, a little bit of high knees. My back was killing me this morning. And then I cleaned the bathroom, like a brief cleaning. I cleaned the sink, I changed out the rugs, and I cleaned the tub. I didn't do like a full cleaning. But yeah, like I didn't do like a full cleaning, but I did get a lot done. So, I was like, by the time I woke up by like 8 something, I was feeling a lot better. But I realistically can't be waking up taking edibles in the morning. That's not, like at 5 in the morning, that's ridiculous. I mean, I did it because I was like, I don't want to be like irritable with people all morning long, because I was like, I don't know who's going to be in the kitchen and we're going to have to interact, and it's kind of like, I just felt like I'm so agitated. If I have to interact with anybody, I'm not going to be in a good mood, and, I'm living with super chatty Cathys, and for me, it is definitely stressful, and I know even if I say, oh, like, I don't want to talk right now, or whatever, even if I'm open saying something like that, I will not be heard. Like, the people who have the issues they do not have enough self-control to stop talking if somebody needs them to stop talking. And I'm not trying to, like, get in any kind of irritable mood with anybody, but I have definitely noticed that with myself. And it's been a while since I've felt this way, and I don't like it. I'm like, this is not pleasant. And I think it's just because I've been indoors way too much. I've been inside, I've been kind of stuck indoors. I did make plans to go out on Thursday, so tomorrow I'm going out. Tonight we're eating Mexican, that should be nice. I was helping out my sister last night and a couple friends with some stuff, so that was kind of pleasant. And then, yeah, like I don't know what it is. Like, I've got a therapist who's wanting to end sessions, and I kind of do too. I think the goals I worked on with this person, I think I'd like a therapist with a different approach a little bit. I've been working with this therapist for about a year, since I think near the LA fires or after or something. I don't remember when, but later. So, gosh. Sorry, I'm looking at Twitter and I'm like, why am I getting... What's this panel over here for what's happening? I don't want to know what's happening. Don't you know me? I don't want to know what's happening. But yeah, I guess I just don't know. Like, I'm kind of trying to maybe figure out I don't know what I'm trying to figure out, but I don't know. I'd like to be out of this mood and into a better one. And I think, I've got plans for April, end of April, and I'm thinking I might not be able to hold to those plans if I can't really get more savings down during this month. Um, um, yeah, I don't really know, but I kind of just don't know, um, really like where I'd like to go with some of the things that I've been kind of dealing with. Like there's a lot of stuff where the ball is not in my court. Um, it's a bit of a challenge, and it's also a bit of a stressor. Um, and yeah, it's kind of hard to know how to feel. I'm having a hard time kind of knowing how to feel. I'm kind of all over the place with how I feel about everything. Everything's getting to me. And I've had a pretty long amount of time where that was not the case. But, there's not really anywhere I could go where I have, like, a lot of space. Like, I live in the middle of a city. So usually, if I want to get any space, I just take the car and go drive down the road and sit in the car in, like, a secluded area. I can't go do that out in the middle, just sit on a curb somewhere. And even places like beaches, parks, there's just people everywhere. And home, there's people everywhere all the time. Like, nobody ever leaves the house. So I'm the only one who ever leaves hardly at all. So that whole thing is just, I'm just feeling kind of crowded and, kind of like boxed in. And I don't think some of the stuff I've been watching has been helpful. I was rewatching The Chi, thinking like, oh, this is gonna be okay because I've seen it, but that kind of was negative. And then I was like, well, let me rewatch some of this other stuff, some of this, um, let me rewatch some of the content about jobs. So I've been watching some job content. Who is it by? Um, what's this guy's name? I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna have to look it up. My YouTube history. I've been watching a lot of YouTube, you guys, and none of it's been positive either. During lunch, I was rewatching part of The Big Short. I've seen it already. I've been watching a lot of Joshua Fluke. Today I watched or listened to in the background while I was working on applications, updating my LinkedIn, putting in more of my certifications on LinkedIn, updating all my resumes to say 2026, and putting them pretty much with all the updated information from the class. I know it's been a while. I've needed some weeks though. I thought I'd need like 3-4 days. I need some weeks, but I am back to studying. I've studied twice, maybe 3 times since I ended class. And I am still working on the portfolio project, but I'm getting mixed messages. Like, I'm getting people telling me, don't watch don't make a portfolio. I made a portfolio and nobody ever looked at my GitHub. And I'm like, dang, do I want to put in all that effort? And then I've got other people saying, get experience by making your own projects. And more people are probably saying that, but then if somebody else is doing the research on the other end saying, hey, I think there was this one guy who said he was in a senior tech role and applying for, I don't know if it was a junior or entry tech role. He started applying for the role, a role that was like lower than his, and he kind of made his profile out to look like he was at that level maybe, and then but just put all his current skills, meaning that he knew all the stuff that a senior would know. And he's applying for junior and entry, and on his profile I think he mentioned for some reason or another getting blacklisted, and then he mentioned putting up a GitHub, putting up a resume that was like, you know, that would kind of work with the automated tracking systems, and then yeah, he's kind of put up resume. He put up a okay, I thought my phone turned off. He put up a resume that was accurate with his current good skills, his senior skills, but he wasn't calling himself senior. So he should have already had above and beyond the experience for what he was applying for. I don't remember how many jobs he applied for, but he applied for a bunch of jobs, and he didn't get the jobs. I think he said he got one interview. Back, and then out of, I don't remember how many applications. But this is one guy saying that, so maybe I shouldn't fully listen. And no offense, but he didn't seem like a native English speaker, and his English was very rough to understand. I don't know how his written was, but let me see, I'm trying to find the guy's name. I may not be able to find it. Okay, it's called, the guy's name is Sovereign IT. SOVEREIGNIT. And the name of the video is Senior Dev Tries to Get a Junior Job. Now he's supposed to have a second episode of this that explains the interview that he went on after submitting however many applications, but this is one guy. So I don't want to be like, this one guy did this project and it didn't work out. Everyone else is saying to do the stuff that he did and it didn't work out at all for him. Maybe one interview out of multiple applications, but it isn't uncommon to have 50 to 200 applications and not get any calls back just because of how broken the system is right now. That seems to be pretty common, people applying the 50 to 200 jobs and barely getting only like a couple interviews. I mean, there are methods, I guess. Like, I try to just only check what's been posted in the past 24 hours. So I tend to look for what's been posted in 24 hours. And then once I see what's been posted in the last 24 hours, I'll tend to go from there and just be like, yeah, that was posted in the last 24 hours. And that's kind of all It's kind of all I've really looked at. It's like, and then I look at if there's maybe 30 applicants, maybe 50 at most, but maybe 30. Like if it was later in the day and there's 50 applicants, then maybe. But if it's like 5, 6 in the morning and there's like 50 applicants, then maybe I'll still apply. I don't know. But I try to look for like 20, 30, or even like single digits or in the teen digits for job applications. So I don't tend to like fully enjoy that. And I did notice early this morning when I was submitting resumes, they all said 20, 25 on them except for my tech one. And then they weren't as updated as my tech one, so I went in and updated all of them to put the new certification info, the course info, course completion, my grade. I ended up with a 91.44% in the class, so I'm like, okay, at least I did that. And yeah, it just, you know, I didn't really feel like I needed like way too much. That was kind of just where I landed with things where I was like, okay, you know, like, that's kind of like all I really wanted to do, was figure out more information. So I've gone that route of figuring out more, and now I'm just kind of like just trying to like get my mood and energy in a place where it might make sense, you know. But yeah, it's kind of been a bit of a tough week, and I'm kind of feeling my internal body regions. I can kind of tell that I've got a menstrual cycle on the way, so I'm not pleased. It should probably kick in on like Thursday or Friday at the earliest, so maybe Sunday. I need to check. It's either before the weekend or during the weekend, but it kind of felt like it was coming this morning. I did not like that. I was not happy. But I think we have a cycling bike in our living room. I might just turn on some Caleb Hammer and then use the little bike after I order the meal, and then wait for the meal while I'm watching. And that'll be my bit of cardio. And then I'll eat right away. I don't know what I'm gonna order yet. But today so far I had raviolis for lunch. I had raviolis and boiled eggs. 2 boiled eggs. I had 3 boiled eggs for breakfast and a protein waffle, a handful of blueberries, and maybe 5 or so strawberries. Breakfast I'm good with. Lunch I'm like, that wasn't maybe the best direction, but I don't know. That's the decision that it came to. And then I think I'm just gonna order now. I'm gonna order the meal for me and my mom. So she likes the potato tacos, and I like the I don't know what I'm gonna have. But let's see. I'll get her the potato tacos. And then I'll get me. The potato tacos come with a little salad, a little lettuce salad with some cheese and green salsa on the side. And then I don't know what I want. I'm trying to look for something that doesn't have a whole... I mean, the birria plate's the only thing that's like meat and beans. It's got a bunch of rice too, but I could always eat the rice later. But I don't want birria meat. I'd rather have a taco, like a burrito. Like I'd rather have a chicken burrito. Oh, you can make a bowl. Oh, you can make a bowl. Alright, I'm just gonna make a chicken bowl. I'll make it with no Monterey Jack. I'm gonna make it with chicken and no Monterey Jack. Where's the red salsa? Does it come with salsa? No? I'm gonna add the red salsa. No cheese. And I'm gonna add... I'm tempted to say no rice, but... I don't know. I'll eat the rice another day, because it's gonna cost me the same. It won't be cheaper. I'll just avoid the rice more today. And then the next time I circle back to it, I'll have some rice. Alright. So I'm gonna have a chicken bowl. It's got... yeah, it's got enough going on. So... that's what we got going on. And then I gotta purchase this. And then I'm gonna go get to cycling. I'm gonna get the cycling going and put on some Caleb Hammer in the background. Subtotal. Alright. How is this cheaper? I don't understand how I get like these weird discounts. Because usually I'm spending more, and today I spent maybe $3 more, and it's $2 cheaper than usual. So, I don't know. I do not know. Placing my order. Then we're gonna see when it should come to us. Okay, hurry up. Alright, so I got about 20 to 30 minutes. So I'm gonna go do that exercising, and put on some Caleb Hammer while we're waiting. And then eat my chicken meal. And you guys will eventually get to hear how it went.